Okay.
Okay. First of all, I want to introduce you to our company, nanotechnology, applied to the concrete dentistry. Our company name is Graphenano Dental. Graphenano Dental belongs to the group of company of Graphenano Nanotechnology. Graphenano Nanotechnology incorporate or introduce graphene to different applications like Graphenano medical care, composite, um, construction, sensor, etc. What is graphene? The graphene is a electropic presentation of the carbon atom. As you know, you can find the graphene is. They cannot see. You don't see. Okay. Please, can you tell us if you can see the presentation? If someone could open the micro and tell us if you could see correctly.
Yeah.
Yes? It's okay? Okay, thank you. Okay. 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 What is graphene? It's an electropic presentation of the carbon atom. As you know, you can find carbon in different presentation or in different way. Uh, you have a carbon in your body, also into the pencils and diamond. You have carbon. The graphene has a two-dimensional sheet with hexagonal shapes, and the union are covalent bonds through van der Waals force. The properties of the graphene are has a chemical, mechanical, physical, and biologic property. If you add graphene to the new material or the material, you will increase that property. You will make the PMA very resistant, like a superconductor of the temperature. The graphene is superconductor of the temperature. When you mix the monomer and the polymer, you will have a thermal reaction. But the temperature is not the same in the middle and outside of the mass. But if you add graphene to this mass, you will have the same temperature in all the mix. So you will have the material will not absorb liquid, and also is going to be bacteriostatic. Okay. Also, the chemical react with other substance, high density, transparent, and lighter. The graphene will not add any additional weight to the processes, and also, as I told you, it's very flexible material. The origin and development. Okay. Graphenano Dental was thinking about a new material with better property. Like a material, versatile, comfortable, durable material. So that's why they just try to satisfy the needs of the dental market. As you know, what material can use? Not here. Okay. If you can close the micros, please. Okay, bueno, sigo. I don't know if you could close them. I don't know who has. Okay. What material can be used? So we were thinking about material to help to increase their property. So we thought about PMA that is the all the material and dentist industry, and you know that you can repair very easy, and you can have a chromatic range very good, and also you can do many different things with PMA, like a hybrid, crown, complete, professional. So that's why we thought in this material to add the graphene. So there is always a solution. Our solution is GCAM. It's a definite solution. It's a biopolymer reinforcement with graphene. As I told you before, if you add graphene to PMA, you will increase the property of the material. You will have a minimal liquid absorption and no residual monomer. Okay, and if you see about mechanical property, you will see that the elastic modulus will increase to 3,200, and the bending strength is going to increase 140. And if we talk about biologic property, you see is bacteriostatic, 6 times less bacteria adhering, better antimicrobial property, antifungal. As you know, when you have an implant, all the load are directly to the bone. If you have a natural teeth, this happen. All the load go directly to the periodontal ligament. So I'm going to show you. Here is a static photoelastic of the load of the Professor Simoniato. You can see a harder material like a zirconia. The impact there is the masticatory load impact directly to the bone. But if you see like a fiber composite is almost the same to our material, the impact is going to be less to the bone. About the weight is a natural tooth versus concrete prosthesis. And you see here, if you see a GCAM bridge with 3 units, you can see that is less weight than the zirconia or metal ceramic prosthesis. Okay, so the patient feel more comfortable with this material in their mouth. If we talk about how many crowns we can have by each disc, you can see with GCAN you can have about 34 crowns versus zirconia that only is about 22, because you know the zirconia is going to have a contraction and you need to introduce the material to the oven, so it's going to have a contraction and you lose part of the disc. About the time, the working time, zirconia is about 10 hours, metal ceramic 8 hours, and GCAM is 3.5 hours. So you can work with this material very fast. What can we do with GCAM? We can do whatever you need to do in dentistry. Is about removal dentures, implant over dentures, implant rehabilitation or full arch, permanent and temporary restoration such as anterior or posterior crowns and bridge, inline, online, Werner's, coping, and substructures. As you can see here in the picture, you can do many different things. If we compare dental solution according to the material, you can see that with GCAN, you can do almost, everything in dentistry. If you compare with other material has some limitation. Okay, so our definite solution is a GCAM, is a biodynamic processes more flexible that absorb the masticatory load, prostheses with harder, slightly lower than the natural tooth, static, resistant, and durable prostheses. Prostheses with easy repair. So this is very important because you can repair with PMA composite. It's very quickly and easy. GCAN is the first and only product for definite prostheses with the CE and FDA certification for medical device with graphene technology. I'm going to show you a video about our company.
Graphenano Dental is devoted to the development of dental products with graphene, such as GCAM discs for milling using a CAD/CAM system. Its business philosophy is based on taking care of the details from the beginning to the end of the manufacturing process. At the reception of raw material, the protocol indicates various levels of quality control. Firstly, the materials received are checked, and a register of the batches is made to initiate the traceability by the means of exams of color and size of the particles. Later, the raw material is stored in special chambers for its posterior treatment. The fundamental component of this process is graphene. Graphenano Dental is part of the corporate network of the Graphenano Group. Graphenano not only manufactures graphene, but also has a deep understanding of the possibilities this nanomaterial offers and manages to obtain it in different formats and configurations to assure the specific characteristics of every application, like is the case with the graphene polymer of Graphenano Dental. Once the raw material has been doped with graphene, the appropriate mixture in the exact proportions is made to obtain the final material. After its polymerization and curing, a strict quality control exam takes place, necessary to guarantee the quality of the product in terms of flexion, compression, and superficial hardness. The samples of this material which pass the quality control are amended to adjust to the required formats. At this stage, it is important to pay special attention to the precision of the lines and the polishing, so the process of transforming the disc into a dental prosthesis is 100% safe. The last quality control test involves checking every single final product, which will be marketed individually. After many years of investigation, at Graphenano, we are very aware that success is only achieved with passion and excellence at the smallest detail. We wish to make the users of our dental prosthesis participants in the love we feel toward our work. The GCAM disc is only the beginning of the integral solution of restorative dentistry, the whole revolution made possible thanks to graphene. Graphene is an allotropic form of carbon, which allows us to cover the monomer particle with its precursor, granting the resulting material with mechanical, biological, and chemical super properties. The acrylics with PMMA base are formed starting the chemical reaction the moment the monomer joins the polymer particles, triggering an exothermic chemical reaction. This chemical reaction is improved and completed thanks to the distribution of heat due to the conductive properties of graphene, which allows for more compact and stable materials. The union of polymeric chains produces the acrylic matrix, the basis of our supermaterial, with exclusive properties such as the elimination of the coefficient of absorption of liquids, which avoids aging and damage to prosthesis with the pass of time, and with opposing properties of current physics, like the combination of superficial strength and flexion, which allows for lighter, safer, more biodynamic and aesthetic materials. An objective which has always been pursued by dentistry and which has now been achieved thanks to Graphenano Dental.
Okay. Well, we have a different study about our material, like a flexure, strain, and elastic models that evaluate the conventional PMA with the PMA reinforced with the graphene. Also, we have another one about the physical, chemical, and microbiologic performance of the graphene doped with PMA. Um, about the
And also about the thermocycle. Okay, this means that this study tells us how longevity, okay, is the graphene could be, okay, in mouth, and our GCAM material could be up to 10 years without changing any property. Okay.
I'm going to show some clinical case. This is a full GCAM mandibular arch prosthesis over 5 nail biotech implant and full upper arch restoration with GCAM crown. See here, you can see the RX, and you can see before to do everything, after when the rehabilitation is ready, and one, okay. This is the older case that we have. Okay, is with GCAN is in 1918, and we did a control 1 year later, and everything is correct about occlusal, color, and hygiene, all correct. Okay, the prosthesis haven't changed anything. This is the same case, 2 years and 3 years picture. Okay, maybe you can see, you can observe some occlusal wear, and the color is stable. We can observe some stain area, no bacterial plaque, and good hygiene. And 4 years later. Also, we have another case. It's a crown. The crown, the teeth is 21. The color is A1 with manual polishing. The tooth preparation and the place date was in 1922. 6 months later, haven't changed anything. No plaque, no bacterial plaque, and the hygiene is very good. 1 year later, and the patient is still very happy. And this is the third case. This is upper full arc with a monoblock implants. The color is A3 with manual polish. This is when the patient come, and the day is in 1922, and you can see the follow-up 6 months later. This is another case. It's about burners. Very a lot of burners all in the
Anterior area.
Yes. Implant bridge 2. Now you can see the place date 6 months before, 22 months later. Also, sometimes you need to reinforce with a bar if the design is not up to the regular requirement.
Yes,
or parameters.
normally when now we are going to talk about that, all the designing, and sometimes we need to place a bar to reinforce the GCAM structure, but then I'm going to explain all the technical for the designing, all the parameters, okay?
Okay, you can use also resin, composite, or to make the characterization of the gingiva.
Finish.
Okay, now is Ornella is going to talk you a little bit more about the process.
Okay, so as I told you, I'm Ornella Tosta. I'm dental technician, and I'm the responsible of the technical support department. Now I'm going to talk about all the design parameters and characterization, and after this, we are going to do a short demo so you could see how quickly we could finish. Okay, our GCAM works. First of all, this is the workflow. Okay, with the GCAM. In first step, you know that we need to scan, then we need to design and mill. Okay, we have the two type of anchorage. We work with the 98.5 millimeters and also with the circumsand anchorage 95. For milling, you could choose the PMMA strategy that you already have in your milling machine, but also if you work with millbox, you will find the GCAM strategy already, okay, inside the mailbox cam. But it doesn't mind if you don't have it. You could choose the PMMA strategy, and you can use the same tools for the milling. And the finish aesthetic that I'm going to explain you today is going to be manual polishing, superficial stains, stratification, and also injection. About our GCAM disc, we have two different formats. We have the monochroma that you already know that is a monocolor. It's the A1, A2, A3, okay? And then we have the GCAM multichroma, but you don't have to confuse with the multi-layer, okay? It's different. You know that multi-layer has a configuration, horizontal configuration. You have more dark and more lighter, but really, if you think about the natural dentition, the natural dentition doesn't have horizontal configuration. The natural dentition has a vertical configuration. So what we do and our philosophy was to work with the thickness of the material to obtain a more natural effect. So multichroma, we mix in the same mass the dentin and the incisal, okay, in the same mass to obtain more translucency effects. So here, the only contraindication for use the multichroma disc will be when the doctor says that the tooth is dark, okay, or we need to opaque something in the back, okay, because the multichroma is going to be more translucency material, okay. With both of them, you could perform all different type of processes, crown, bridges, implant, full arch, banners, okay, because they have the same properties. And also we have different colors that you could see in the screen. We have BL1, BL2, A1, A2, A3, A3.5, B1, B2, C2, and transparent. The transparent is for bruxisms, bites, okay? This is an example of the multichroma crown. You can see here this crown. I want you to see the cervical area, not the incisal, because the incisal has staining material. I want you to see the cervical. Why? Because it's the thinner area of the crown. So the idea of the multichroma is that when we are going to cement the crown inside mouth, or we put the crown inside the model, you could see how in the cervical area the color of the model transfer to the crown. So what we are going to obtain is a more natural effect, okay, because it's going to integrate better in the mouth. Okay, so really the multichroma we recommend for inlines, banners, crowns, okay, for have like a Emax effect, okay. Okay, now we are going to start with the design parameters. This is the document that you will need to have with you, okay, to check that you are applying the correct minimal thickness and everything. Today I'm going to explain all, but it's important that you download this information in our website or ask Extend to share with you, okay? So for crown's structure is very easy. Here is not difficult. The minimal thickness that we are going to select it's 0.6. Let you know that you already have in Exocad the GCAM material, so you could choose the GCAM disk and you will have already the parameters established. Okay, the only thing that you need to know is that if you are going to design a bridge with the GCAM, maximum you can put two pontics, okay, maximum two with the crowns, okay, between. You cannot put more. And I'm going to show you an example. Wait a second here. This will be the design. It's very easy, very similar than a zirconia bridge. Okay, I will recommend if you have two pontics in the middle to reinforce a little bit more, okay, the palette area, as you can see here, okay, to get sure that everything is going to be okay. Regarding the connectors, in the anterior area could not be less than 9 millimeters squares, and in the posterior area not less than 13. Okay. Now for implants, that we have to talk more in this way. With the GCAM implants, we could have two options, okay, two solutions. We could work with T-base, okay, that you know that is a cementation process, or you could work with the GIDA system. The GIDA system is a direct connection to the implant multi-unit, okay? I'm going to explain both of them. In first case, when we are going to work with the T-base, I don't know if I'm going to show you correctly in the camera, but then I will show you better with the demo. Okay, we need to cement the T-base, okay, but we have to check two things. Okay, the first one is that when we are going to design the GCAM restoration, we need to choose the correct height of the gingiva, as you can see in the first image in the upper. Why? Because if we go down, like in the second image with the GCAM restoration, we probably don't get this 1 millimeter of thickness that is necessary for the implant restoration. So we recommend always to level up, okay, the height of the gingiva and then design the GCAM restoration. And in the other way, we need to also choose the height of the T-base, okay? If we don't have the enough height of the T-base, we need to choose to select a abutment, okay? Or design I don't know how to say when you do and design an abutment, a special abutment for the patient. Okay, so I'm going to show you an example. This will be a round design. Why? Because if you see here, the T-base is very short if we compare with the height of the GCAM restoration. So the problem here is that the GCAM, as Virginia told you, is a flexible material. Okay, it's a material that is going to adapt to the occlusion, is going to adapt to all the movement of the patient, but the T-base is completely hard. So if we don't have stability between both of them, we are going to have a cementation. And after the cementation, we are going to have a break. Okay, so it's important to cover minimum the 50% of the height of the restoration. Then I'm going to show you an example. And in the right hand, you have the crown, okay, a correct design with the correct height of the gingiva because the connection is very down, okay, and also with the correct height of the cementation. I'm going to show you a clinical case. Okay, here we place the implant. The implant is very submerged, okay, in the gingiva. So when we do the design, okay, it's important what I told you first to choose a T-base with the correct height and also with the correct height of the cementation. In this way, we are going to have a correct design and finish of our GCAM crown. Here you can see different images, okay? So this in case of working with the T-base. Now for the GDAS system, as I told you, this is for go direct, okay, screw to the multi-unit novel. This was developed for of dynamic abutment solution. Okay, this is another Spanish company. They are in Barcelona. So they designed for us a special screw and a special library for this connection. In this case, we don't need any type of T-base, as you can see in the image. Okay, we don't have any T-base, so we go directly to the screw. I'm going to put a video so you can see a little bit better about this system, and then I show you a clinical case. Okay, so you see that we don't need any T-base. This is a clinical case, okay, made with the GIDA system. We scan and you see that the down area of the processes is all GCAM, okay, we don't need any metal, titanium, okay, abutment. And you see that the screw, the channel of the screw is a little bit bigger because the screw, then I will show you with the camera, the screw is a little bit more bigger, okay, so this will ensure that we are using the correct screw and the correct library for this solution. Now we are inside the Exocad software. Remember you that you will find the GCAM parameters already inside. Remember that the minimum thickness in the emergence profile will be 1 millimeter, but then we need to check that in the equator we have 2.5 and in the occlusal area we have 1.5 millimeters. Okay. Always I recommend also to choose the virtual gingiva because it's going to do a better union between all our teeth, okay, when we are going to design our GCAM restoration. And regarding when we are already inside the Exocad and we are designing, you know that any patient has, we could find 4, 5, 6 implants. So, but we need to design the correct way. Okay, what I mean with this, because if we talk about the perfect position of the implants, okay, will be like this and like that, but we know that this is not the normal. We need to check and see where the doctor could place these implants, because sometimes the patient doesn't have bone, or it's more in vestibular, more in lingual, or more distance between them. So we need to check first the case and then design depending on the patient situation. So here I have two examples, the more typical, Olan 4 and Olan 6. Here in the first, in the upper, you will see a Olan 4 implant full arch. And here you see that we have two elements in cantilever, okay? We could not design a GCAM full arch monolithic in this type of cases, okay? Because we probably will have a failure in the cantilever area, okay? So if we have this type of cases, it's better to place a bar to ensure, okay, that we are applying the correct parameters. Here I have an example, then with the camera I will show you better, but we have also two elements in cantilever. So what we need to do is to place a bar and then the upper structure. So what we are going to have is the resistance of the metal bar and also the absorption of loadings of the GCAM, okay? Now, if we talk about 6 implants, we have a better distribution, so a better distribution of forces, okay, of the patient. So we could mill all monolithic without any problem. Another thing to have into account is that maximum 3 elements between implants, okay, maximum 3, no more. Also, I have here an example, okay, and I show you before. Regarding the cantilever, we could design only one element, okay, in cantilever, maximum 11 millimeters in length. You have here an example of what we cannot do and what will be a correct design of the cantilever. One thing that is important is if you have the implant in the middle of the two teeth, okay, like this, it's important to reinforce the lingual or palate area of the prosthesis, because sometimes what we do for aesthetic is to get inside and to individualize the two teeth for aesthetic, but if we leave this very thin, we could have a failure. So we need to get sure that we have these 2.5 millimeters around the implant, okay? It's very important. Also, it's important to have a good basal support and the occlusion very soft in this cantilever tooth. This is an example of one prosthesis, okay, that arrived to our department. This was from a clinic. They called me and say, Ornella, I have the problem with this prosthesis. It's the second time it breaks. So when I told her to send me the STL to review what is happening, obviously you can see here that the anterior area are like six elements, okay, between the implants. So if you remember what I said before, maximum 3 elements, okay? So obviously this will be break, I think also with zirconia and composite and with other materials, okay? Because it's a breach very, very big. So the solution for this type of cases, as I told you, will be place a bar, design a bar. It could be a simple bar. It could be any way you could design the bars in your lab, okay? There is not any condition, a special condition. The only thing or feedback that I could tell you is that if you are going to do a cementation process, I would recommend to do the bar soft, okay, without any pointing area. And if you are going to cement the bar and the overdenture with resin, I recommend to do some mechanical retentions in the bar. Okay, is the only thing. So also remember that the bar, the design of the bar should cover also the 50% of the height, okay, of the restoration, as you can see here, okay, minimum the 50%. And I recommend also to design the bar as possible in the middle, okay, of the GCAM restoration. In this case, we mill in a castle material, then we do the castle in chromo cobalt, we do the opaque, and for design the upper structure, we use all in Exocad Pontics, okay, and then we start designing our upper restoration of the GCAM, okay. One thing that is important, the minimum thickness around the bar is the only condition that we have to check that we have correct, okay? That is going to be 1.5, that if you remember, I told you before, that is the minimum thickness in the occlusal area. So this is the in the exocad when you are or 3D shape or the CAD that you use for design, you need to get sure that you have this 1.5 millimeters around all the bar in the GCAM restoration. This is the finish. We do a composite in the pink gingiva and a little bit of staining. And this is another type of bar, okay? In this one, we cover completely the bar, in the down also with the composite, and in this type of bar, we have the metal touching the gingiva and then the upper with the GCAM, okay? So you can see that we could design the bar depending on the way of working that we are used. Now we are going to start with the characterization process. I don't know if you have any questions about the designing part. If you have any doubt or any question, please put it in the chat. So starting with the characterization process, in first step, I'm going to put a video of our manual polishing process. We have our own kit, but obviously you could use any type of burns because it's a conventional, it's very versatile, it's very easy to use this material. It's like a conventional resin, but the advantage to have inside graphene that is going to give more resistance. It's going to you're going to have a definitive material, okay, for our patient. Okay, so as you see, it's very easy. Okay, we have step by step all the protocol, but you will see that it's very versatile material. Now, I'm going to explain the characterization process if we are going to use light cure materials like stains or composites. Okay, the preparation of the GCAM restoration is going to be the same. The only difference is then if we're going to use stains or composites. So in first step, we have to remove, okay, our prosthesis from the disc. Remember that we don't need any thermal process. So this is the way that Virginia also told you that is more faster, because we milled, and after milled we could finish the work. We don't have to wait any sintering process. We don't need to put opaque. We don't need to do anything. Okay, we go directly to the final step. And now we decide if we are going to work monolithic. If we are going to work monolithic, it's not necessary to do the cutback. But if we are going to put pink gingiva, or we are going to put some composite in the incisal area, we need to do a little bit of the cutback. After this, it's important to sandblast with aluminoxide, okay, 110 microns, okay, and 2-3 bars of pressure. Then it's important not to clean with water or water streamer, okay. After the sandblast, maximum you could give air to remove these particles of the aluminoxide, and after this, clean with alcohol, okay, conventional alcohol, isopropylic. I use this one from Vita because today we are going to use the Vita stains and they have their own cleaner, but you can use any alcohol 96%. After this, depending on the material that we are going to use, sometimes it's necessary to apply a primer, okay? Depending on the material. If you're going to use, for example, Ivoclar, you have this one that is the SR Connect. If you're going to use OptiGlaze stainings, okay, that are this one from here, you need to use the acrylic primer, and then I will show you also. So depending on the material, you need to place each primer. After the primer, is important the light cure. Remember that the light cure also is important because all this material that needs it needs a light cure process, they have a range of nanometers, okay? So normally they are around 380 and 500 nanometers, so it's important you to check that your light cover this range, okay? I use this one from Breden, but there are another ones in the market that also covers, okay, this range. And then we decide, okay, if we are going to stain, we start applying, okay, all the colors. And if we are going to put pink gingiva or incisal composite, we start to put in it, okay. The finishing, obviously we could do light cure, okay, to do hard all the materials, but the finish, when we place the staining process, is important to put the glaze and also do the light cure. And after this, it's important to polish. Then in the demo, I will explain step by step and you will see all the process. And if we place any composite, I will recommend to polish, because when the materials are polished, normally has better results, okay? When we put the glaze. Sometimes the glaze has a lot of liquid absorptions, and in long term, it starts, changing the color because of the glaze. Okay, if we do a manual polishing, always it's going to be better. This is another short video of the protocol that I have already explained. Okay. And now the injection process is another possibility, okay, but obviously, practically, I think the 90% of our customers work all monolithic, because if we need to do an injection process, you need obviously more time to do it. But only let you know that you can, if the doctor or the patient request, you can do it, okay? So you mill the processes, then you need to flask, okay, with the silicone or transparent if you're going to inject composite, so the light cure could penetrate inside. But will be also the same process that I just explained, okay? We flask, then we do the cut back, sandblast, clean with alcohol, put the primer in case of if we're going to inject composite, or you need to put a little bit of monomer also to the addition with other resin is going to be better, and do the injection process, okay? Here you will see in the image that the incisional area is already injected, and then we do the same thing with the gingiva part, okay? But obviously this is more long time in the lab, so normally we recommend really to do it monolithic, because you obtain also a very good aesthetic. And for finish, okay, this presentation, I'm going to explain quickly the cementation process. You need a dual resin cement, okay? In this case, we use the multi-link hybrid abutment for the T-base. In first step, you need to check that your crown fits correctly in the abutment. Then always remember to sandblast the internal area of the graphene structure. And remember not to clean with water streamer or with water, okay? After the sandblast, always give a little bit of air and finish, okay? Then the metal or the T-base, you need to place a metal primer. It's going to depend, okay, on the cement that you are going to use. In case of the multi-link, we are going to use the monobond for the metal and the SR Connect for the GCAM restoration, okay? We put a thin layer, and after the thin layer, remember to light cure, okay, the primer, and then we use the conventional process, okay? We place both materials, we mix correctly, put the cement inside the crown and fix correctly the T-base in the correct position, okay? Now, in case of the clinical process, in first step, remember that the crown should be already sandblasted from the lab, okay, and then sent to the clinic, okay. And in the clinic, if the doctor has the possibility to sandblast before doing the cementation process, will be perfect, okay. If it's not possible, it doesn't matter because it should be sandblasted already from the laboratory. Then it's important that the doctor also apply the primer that is going to use for the tooth, and I'm going to show you a clinical case. You will be see better. Then the tooth, we need to do the etching process, clean with water, dry completely, and apply also the primer. Then place the cement and do the cementation process, okay? I'm going to show you now a case. This is our patient. As you can see here, the patient has the tooth very dark. So in this case, we didn't use the multichroma because we need to opaque this color of the tooth. So we use a monochroma GCAM crown. It was, I think, A1. As you can see here, the preparation of the tooth is very parallel. Okay, we don't need a very conical preparation because the material is not a hard material. Okay, it's soft material. So it's better also to work with the friction, okay, of the crown. Then, what I say before, we need to do the etching process, clean with water and dry completely. Okay, it's important that the area is completely dry. Remember that the crown should be already sandblasted from the laboratory, as I told you before, and the primer or the adhesive that the doctor is using for the tooth, okay, the doctor could use the same primer for the GCAM restoration, okay, will be okay, because finally it's a universal primer, okay, light cure. So we apply the adhesive, give light, okay, and then use the cement. In this case, I think it was Variolink from Ivoclar also. It's a dual resin cement. Then we already cement the tooth. This was the before and after, and Virginia already showed you, okay, the follow-up of this case, but this was 6 months review and 12 months, 1 year, okay, place in mouth. So up to here, all the GCAM. Now I'm going to explain shortly that we have also a 3D G-print resin for models. Okay, the advantage when we introduce the graphene inside the 3D printing resin, in this case for model, is the dimensional stability of the models. So we could have the model in the clinic, or you could send the models to the doctor, and the model, the stability and the dimensional stability of the model is a long term. Okay, so this is good because if something happened, they could resend the model, and the model will not contract or have any different. Okay, will be the same. Also, depending on the printer, is going to print faster because of the superconductor of the, thanks to the graphene of the superconductor of the temperature. So it's going also to cure more faster. Okay, and with this we finish the presentation. Thank you for your time. Now, please, if you have any questions or any doubt, is the moment, and I'm going to prepare everything for the demo area. Virginia, llámalas a ellas, porfa. A ver si... I'm going to start with the demo. I don't know if you can ask if they have any question or I don't know anything, or because nobody's saying nothing, but I don't know if they want to talk in to ask in Poland in their language. Yes, they are listening to you, I think.
Okej, więc jakby wchodzimy jakieś pytania, to śmiało można zadawać. Ja mogę tłumaczyć, jeśli jest jakiś problem. Jesteście tam? Halo, halo?
No sé si con... ¿Sí? Mis pinzas. No, probably in the chat we have any question or something, or... Okay. So we are going to start with the demo. One second. Let's see. No sé muy bien ahora. Okay, this is already, we have already sandblast, okay, the structure with aluminum oxide, okay, 110 microns, and we have already give air, okay, to remove. Now I'm going to use the alcohol, okay, I use an spray, okay. The good thing about the alcohol is that it's going to evaporate, okay? It's going to eliminate all the grass, and also it's going to eliminate the superficial tension. So the good thing is that it's going to be a better surface for the addition with other materials. The thing is that we need to wait, okay, that the alcohol evaporate, okay? So we need to wait that it's completely wet until we start, okay, applying the staining process. Today I'm going to use the Beta 1 colors, okay? Also, I told you that you can use also optic glaze if you want. Remember that the optic glaze, it's necessary to place acrylic primer, okay? It's important. The Beta ones doesn't need it, so I'm going to use them because it's more quickly. But let you know that you can use any light cure material, only you need to get sure that it's for superficial stainings, okay? Virginia, consígueme papel. Dame uno. Then I'm going to use gray blue, or you can use blue, okay, depending on your and then the glaze, okay, will be this one. So we have already 1 second. A ver. We have two options, okay, of when we are going to stains. We could, because we already have, let's put here. In the camera, we don't see very well, okay, but we have more dark color in cervical and more lighter in the incisal. So we have two options. We could leave it like this and only put a little bit of blue in the incisal area, okay, to have more translucency effects or more, more characterization, okay. Or another possibility is only to put the color, okay, of the cervical area. Here in this case is a in the cervical to obtain more dark the cervical, and then we will have a transition of the color in more lighter, okay. So it is going to depend. Today I'm going to level up the color in the cervical and put a little bit of blue, okay, so you could see both of them. I'm going to start adding, okay, color. Virginia, si me salgo, avísame, porque no, si me salgo de la pantalla, que no lo sé. One important thing is that espera, este no va bien. 1 second. Then it's important to put thin layers first, okay? And then light cure, okay? Because if we put the stains and don't light cure, what we are doing is removing the stainings, okay? So I'm going to put a first layer. And then with a lamp like this, a hand lamp, okay, we are going to give light. We check the color, we could see that we are leveling up, okay, the cervical color. If we want more, we continue doing another layer, okay. Also interproximal, we could do it more dark to give more deep, okay. I'm going to give again light. I'm going to do only one side, So you can see then the difference. Obviously, this is going to depend on the patient, of course. Okay, if the patient depends on the color of their teeth, we are going to need to do more stains or less. Okay. If you're going to change the color, remember to change the brush, okay, or clean also with alcohol. Okay, you could clean with alcohol or change the brush. Now I'm going to put a little of blue. The blue is very intensive, so be careful when you are applying these colors. We put a little, and then when we do the light cure, the color is more intensive, okay? You will see that the color intensify more. Okay. What I do is to put the blue and then, with the brush, remove the excess. Okay. I give light cure again. And check that the color is okay. So now remember that we need to put it in the big machine, okay, of light cure. This one is the one that has the nanometers correct, okay. It's important that they are into the 380 nanometers up to 500. Normally I put it 90 seconds. It's show you Is that machine from there? This one? Okay. Until we wait, I'm going to show you, okay, different things. You can design, as I told you, bridges, okay? Remember that the height of the cementation is important to cover, okay, the minimum 50%. Here you can see a G-cam bridge, okay? Also crowns, okay? Implants, crowns, okay? Also inlines. And in case of the implant cases, as I told you, you could work with T-base, okay, that are already cement. When it goes, okay. You have the case like this, or also you could, it's the same design, but without T-base, okay, with the GDA system, okay, direct to the implant. Okay, it's the same case, but you don't need any T-base. It goes directly to the multi-unit. I'm going to show you the screw. I think I have it here, so you will see the difference. 1 second. This is another GDAS case, okay, with the pink gingiva, characterization of the pink gingiva. And if you compare this screw to a multi-unit screw, okay, you could see that it's bigger, okay. So also this is better because the seating of the screw of the GDAS is bigger and to support all the forces, okay. With the GDAS you also could screw 20 newtons, okay, in mouth, and also you could angulate the channel up to 20 degrees, okay. This is important also. This is all ready. I'm going to take the sample. And now we are going to put the glazing, okay, the glaze. I recommend always, if you're going to do a staining process, always to stain the vestibular area and the palate area or lingual area, always polish, okay? Because you will have when it's polished, okay, you have better than no plaque adhesion and all these things, okay? I don't know if you can see, okay, the staining with the glaze. Always I like to remove the excess, okay, so if you have made any texture in the anatomy, okay, the glaze don't remove it, okay. Then I will polish everything. Okay, it's all ready. See if you can see. Now I'm going to put it in again, okay, in the light cure machine. This time for 180 seconds, okay? Remember that all these materials should be covered because if not with the light, they do hard. So clean everything also with alcohol. What I was telling to you also, okay, was the different cases. In this case, the jidas that go directly. Also, what I told you about the cantilevers, okay? When you have cases like this, that you have 4 implants, and your last implant is here, you have 2 elements in cantilever, it's better, okay, to place a bar, okay, and then put the upper structure with the GCAM, okay. In this case, we cover with composite and do a manual polishing, okay. Also, I have another example here, also another all 4. Okay, this cantilever is only one element, but you can see that the implants are in the premolar, so this is very long cantilever. It's better, that the implant could be more, here in the middle, or like here. So when you have this type of cantilevers, it's better also to place a bar. Okay, this is like, you can see all the process, and here is already finished. Okay, in this case also we finish with composite and a little of staining. Okay, another type of cases, crowns. Okay, here you'd see the difference between, is the same color, okay, the same color base is this one here, is I think it's a BL2. We have manual polishing and staining process, okay, it's the same color, but with the staining. If we want to review the process, you see that we have take out our crown from the disc, sandblast with aluminum oxide. Okay, then remember to place the primer, staining, and glaze. Okay. And also we have the transparent disc with graphene. When you have patients that are very bruxism, okay, that break everything, it's good option for them, okay, because it's more resistant, also doesn't absorb liquids. Remember that graphene has that possibility. So when the materials do not absorb liquids, has more longevity, okay, in long term. So the bite doesn't change color also, and will be better for these patients that are very bruxism. Okay, we have already finished here. Okay, now it's already stained. You could see how it's finished, the comparative, okay, between one and the other one. When we already do the staining process, it's important when we place the glaze, it's important to polish the glaze, okay. We are going to polish the glaze with a cotton ball.